Give a background color to a div element. You can set an element's background color with the background color property. For example, if you want an element's background color to be green, you'd put this within your style element. So within the style tags, you put dot green background, parentheses, background color green. So create a class called silver background. So within the style tags, we need a dot silver background, parentheses, silver background, parentheses, background color will be colon silver, semicolon. And what we've got to do is so where's the div element? Right, so div element. So we see now do you put class here equals silver background. So you see that it just changed. So if I take that back out, and then it's nothing. So if we put that in the div element, it's class with a space equals inverted commas silver background, and it will give a silver background because the class we want is dot silver background. That's the class. So we're telling it to do a silver background on the div, or we could do it on paragraph, we could do it on the unordered list, we can do it in the ordered list, you can do it anywhere. But basically they want us to do it on the div. So that was straightforward, that wasn't too hard. Set the ID of an element. In addition to classes, each HTML element can also have an ID attribute. There are several benefits to using ID attributes. You can use an ID to style a single element, and later you learn that you can use them to select and modify specific elements with JavaScript. ID attributes should be unique. Browsers won't enforce this, but it's a widely agreed upon best practice, so please don't give more than one element the same ID attribute. Here's an example of how you give your H2 element the ID of cat photo app. So H2, so ID equals cat minus photo minus app. So we're giving it a name of cat photo app. So basically we're identifying it as cat photo app. That's what I use as ID. So give your form element the ID of cat photo form. So we're looking for the form element, which is the form tag. So form tag, so I want to get an ID equals cat photo form. Yabba dabba do, that was straightforward. Keep on trucking. Use an ID attribute to style an element. One cool thing about ID attributes is that classes, you can style them using CSS. However, an ID is not reusable and should only be applied to one element. An ID also has a higher specificity importance than a class. If both are applied to the same element and have conflicting styles, the style of the ID will be applied. Here an example of how you can take your element with the ID attribute of cat photo element and give it a background color of green in your style element. So cat photo, so you need a hash to start it off. Cat photo element, background color green. Note that inside your style element you always reference classes by putting a dot